Hello and welcome to this Ferris State Football National Championship Game Update. I'm the voice of the Bulldogs, Rob Bentley, alongside Sandy Gholston from McKinney High School in McKinney, Texas, where the Ferris State Bulldogs behind us getting ready for the Division II National Championship game on Saturday night. Sandy, first of all, beautiful weather here in the state of Texas.
Yeah, we are certainly glad to be back in the state of Texas. Texas has treated us well last time with the weather for the most part, and so far off to a great start weather-wise. Smooth travels to get us right here to this point at McKinney High School.
Speaking of travel, since practice yesterday, the Bulldogs made the flight from Grand Rapids to the Dallas area, arriving late last evening. Beautiful day for travel, despite some of the windy conditions overnight in Big Rapids. No issues here for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, pretty smooth. Just had a great departure from Big Rapids and police escort and just first-class treatment to get us onto the plane at Ford Airport down in Grand Rapids, and then off to McKinney, Texas. So we left in the day from Grand Rapids and arrived at night at Love Field in Dallas, and just everything has been smooth since then. Just a great opportunity for the Bulldogs to make this return trip to the national championship game.
Since arriving at the team hotel here in the Dallas and the McKinney area, the Bulldogs have had some team meetings, treatment, you name it. They went through it here as they get ready for their first official practice here in the state of Texas.
Yeah, you certainly don't want to say it's old hat because it never gets old having this kind of experience, but the Bulldogs have been at home, and we talked about that recently. They've been at home for quite a while, and so having a chance to go on the road, and yet everything has gone really smoothly. As you mentioned, the Bulldogs have been able to settle into the hotel, get some food in them, have some treatments from the training staff, and then also engage in some team meetings and functions and whatnot. And so things have gone really well so far for the Bulldogs, and even though it's their first time on the road in a long time, they seem to have adapted well.
The Bulldogs not only have a big fan following, 4 fan buses scheduled to come here to McKinney, Texas, but also some media that followed the Bulldogs or were contracted out, and good following here prior to practice today.
Yeah, it was great to have so many media here in attendance, and of course a lot of media are here representing West Michigan, and of course some local media as well, and they're all trying to find those great interviews, the hometown interviews as well as the big picture interviews to really document this Bulldog football experience here. It's been a great season to this point, and now with an opportunity to play for a national championship, it's certainly drawing a lot of media attention.
Of course, one of the big media stories was Travis Russell, the former Bulldog quarterback, now on the coaching staff that drove Coach Anisa's car all the way from Michigan down here to Texas, arriving late last night, and giving Coach Anisa a vehicle here as he begins his recruiting travels following this national championship game.
Yeah, when we first heard about that story, I think a lot of people thought it was a joke. But right, why would T. Russ, why would he drive all the way down to Texas in Coach Anisa's car? But of course, Coach Anisa is going to have that to begin his family vacation after the national championship game. And we talked to T. Russ, and he was able to work his way all the way through, I think, just less than a handful of stops to get from Michigan all the way down to Texas. And so shout out to T. Russ for a great job handling Coach Anisa's car, making it to and from safely.
I know some of the Bulldog players talked about as they continue preparations here in the state of Texas, how they've been through this kind of before. Now a business trip here as they focus in and really lock in for Saturday night.
Yeah, I think locked in is a great way of putting it. I think a lot of the guys are familiar with it, and even the ones who aren't necessarily as familiar with being in this setting here in McKinney, Texas, they are familiar with the Bulldog way, and the Bulldog way is to stay focus on one game at a time, and be all about business and taking care of business to get themselves in the right frame of mind to be preparing as meticulously as possible to compete for a national championship.
Bulldogs will get a chance to enjoy themselves tonight, a team celebration event, then community engagement, a virtual reading to some of the local elementary students coming up tomorrow morning before the Bulldogs have their final walkthrough in preparation for the game at the McKinney ISD Stadium tomorrow afternoon.
Well, obviously when you come into a game of this magnitude, there's a lot going on, and some of it directly related to football, and some of it are other obligations that are important to the bigger picture of what this game means, not only to Division II, but also to the area and to the students. And it's really a great opportunity for the Bulldogs not only to get some nice community engagement and to have a little bit of fun as well, but to also find that fine line to also stay focused on the business at hand, which is to compete and prepare for a national championship game.
We'll have more coverage for you throughout the week right here at FerrisStateBulldogs.com. For Sandy Gholston, I'm Rob Bentley. This has been the Ferris State Football National Championship Game Update.